Technical difficulties over here. Okay, I don't know if the intro played, but so sorry for the tech issues. Welcome to Herf Zone Live, the show where we have the most eclectic lineup of guests, of which some smoke cigars and some who don't. Either way, we bring you the best content weekly. Herf Zone Live is sponsored by StogieLives.com, a social media site just for cigar smokers. Sign up for free and connect with cigar lovers from all over the world. Set up with similar features to Facebook and other social media sites. You can grow your network, start groups, post events, and see why everyone is talking about StogieLives.com. Make sure to connect with Team Shirtless Mike and Herf Zone Live and tell me you came because of the show. Team Shirtless Mike and Herf Zone Live are also getting behind a special project with ACE Prime Cigars and Stogie Press. They are working to raise money for a daycare center in Jalapa, Nicaragua, to help out workers in the cigar industry, among helping in other ways. As you know, Nicaragua has a lot of poverty, and in Jalapa, there is massive amounts of need. This is where a lot of cigars are produced, so I'm getting behind this along with others in the cigar industry to make a difference. The link to the Stogie Press article is in the show description. You can learn more about the project and make a donation by clicking the link in the description. Together, we can achieve more. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Yeah, so I'm not sure if my intro video played or anything like that, but so sorry for the technical issues in the beginning of the show. Yeah, so tonight, as you know, I got Val from StogieLives.com, our wonderful sponsor. And right after her, we have Boston Jimmie, and he's actually waiting in the green room. So I'll bring you on once Val's done. You didn't have to come so early, but hopefully everyone's having a good night here. I'm going to go ahead and bring Val on, and I got the comments up so I can see everybody. Let's see here. All right. We got our first comment there. So I'm going to bring up Val, and we're going to get started, guys. What's up, Val?
What's up, Shirtless?
Man, I don't know what happened. There were some tech issues, like literally, like as I was trying to play my intro, it froze up. So I don't know if it played or not, but I played it off well, I guess. So
you did. I saw it, so I don't know if you could see it.
Yep, definitely. And so before the show, I'm going to make the announcement here. You decided you want to have a giveaway for an Avo ashtray and a Stogie Lives sticker. You got that in front of you. You can show people. All right.
The logo, it's pretty.
Yep, and you got the sticker in there too. Show the people the sticker there. All right. That's awesome. Yeah, so we're going to do that after the interview portion. And we'll ask a specific question, and then you have to answer. So the first person I see who answers it correctly will win it. So make sure you stay tuned and all that good stuff. So let's get started here. Let's kind of go to the beginning here. You haven't been smoking cigars for too long, but tell me about how you got into cigars initially.
I haven't. I was always one, like, if a cigar was around, like if it was like a poker game or something, I would sit and smoke it with the boys, but I never really did it on my own. And then with the pandemic, I've had more time to smoke, or more, it's, I don't say luxury, but kind of like a mom break, time out,
Yeah, definitely.
So it is cool. Nice. It does. I do find it relaxing.
Awesome. And so what kind of cigars do you enjoy the most?
Mild with some infused. I love coffee, so I'm definitely a big coffee infused cigar person versus like a flavored.
Definitely. I love coffee too. I'm not big into infused cigars, but I like the flavor of coffee. I smoke that.
Absolutely.
I smoke that, smoke a cigar with coffee all the time. So, and so when did you get the idea to start StogieLives.com?
I've had the idea for a while. I know a lot of people on Facebook or social media sites in general are having problems with getting kicked off for posting literally a picture like this, or, just a box of cigars, or just something that really, there's nothing really controversial about this. I mean, as long as you're of age.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
and I kind of got sick of hearing that, well, I'm restricted for, I don't know, 7 days, 14 days, 31. I'm completely banned and all my family pictures are gone. And like, this has been like a reoccurring theme I've been hearing for the past 6 months. So the idea was to give cigar smokers their own space based on like, if you read like YouTube and Facebook, their policies, like Facebook owns Instagrams, they are, they're starting to enforce them more. I did look into it a little bit. So I guess last year, 120 some odd organizations began pressuring social media sites to enforce a nicotine policy with all tobacco. So there's the idea in the sense that you're safe. It's a cigar. You're not. But really, you can post more than just cigars. You can talk about anything.
Yeah. And so that's on the Stogie Lives platform, that you can talk about anything on there, right?
Exactly. You pretty much can. I mean, like, there's always it's common sense. Like, you can't, like, you don't say bomb on a plane. It's just common sense. There's some things you can't say, like, oh, kill all, I don't know, kill in a group, or, something like that. But it's definitely more free speech in that sense. Talk about your cigar, talk about your whatever you're pairing it with, whether it be alcohol or coffee, or talk about, a lot of men. I don't know what it is about cigars and guns. A lot of them tend to go hand in hand. So, you'll see some gun posts, as long as it's not pointed at somebody.
Yeah. So basically on Stogie Live, you basically created as a place for free speech for cigar smokers.
Exactly.
They can pretty much post about anything. Obviously, nothing illegal, and there's still
Yeah, it's
there's still
common
going to
sense.
be standards and all that, like any other platform and all that. But there's definitely more freedom.
It is
So
21 and older, though. I should
yeah, of
throw
course.
that in because I know like a lot of like Facebook isn't, or Instagram, you know.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's more free speech, and it can be.
Yeah, definitely. And so when you got the idea, how long did it take to design the website, and what was that process like for you?
Oh my goodness. I started it on a Monday evening. It was actually funny because I had programmed the software, and then I went out with my daughters and my mom, and I came home, and I had a couple of people beta testing it. It wasn't customized or anything. And then the cigar media found out, and I did it in 3 days.
Mm.
And it was a funny shade of hell because it's a lot of coding.
Yeah.
But that's my background, but it was hard, but I did it.
Yeah. So you said 3 days, but like how many hours in those 3 days were you working on the site to get it? Because obviously it's a work in progress,
It
but
is. We actually have some new features coming, but I'll talk about that in a minute. I would say about 14 hours a day for those 3 days. And then by the time Saturday came, I just crashed. I was like, okay, I'm going to bed.
yeah.
It's 5.
So basically you didn't get a whole lot of sleep those 3 days. You just kind of did your thing, and
Coffee and cigars.
that's the best way to do it.
Exactly.
And so Stogie Lives is set up very similar to Facebook. You create groups and just like with Facebook and other social media sites, I worded this wrong, but basically with Facebook, you're at risk of being censored. With Stogie Lives, you don't throw people in internet jail for free speech issues, etc. But
No.
obviously there are rules. What are some do's and don'ts on Stogie Lives?
Well, it's pretty much free speech in the sense that you can say just about anything. Like I said, you can post things that you normally wouldn't. I mean, you can't obviously post like, I don't know, naked women or something like that, or, you know, hate speech. That's the
Yeah.
big one, you know, like, but if you're just smoking a cigar and having a beer, or maybe you're taking a picture with your gun or your coin, or you want to plug your business, that's a big one for like I know we're in a closed state, so I know a lot of businesses are hurting. So there's a secondary side to it as well, because you know you can connect directly with cigar consumers.
Definitely. And so your background's, in tech and everything, and you got a lot of experience with that.
Is
What kind of servers do you got? So, right now it's still a work in progress and growing, but when there's like thousands to hundreds of thousands of cigar smokers on there, do you got the type of servers that'll keep up with demand and everything?
Of course, so I've been an independent contractor since I graduated college, and so being my husband was a first responder, and then I had kids. I had kids pretty young. My first was born when I was 20, so I was actually a single mom, and I went to school and worked full time, and it was hard. But so then after I graduated, I started working for Fortune 500 companies, setting up their servers. And I've
Hmm.
also worked as a writer, and I do stats and market research and build websites, and I'm a little bit of everything. So I get around, but I mean, I do have a lot of experience with building these things. And honestly, none of the Fortune 500 companies I've worked with have had any problems. So I'm not even really worried about it, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people are, and like I know in the past I've heard the example of Parlor being cited, but you have to understand the reason that one didn't went offline was not because of the hosting service they used. It was because of the hosting service's policies.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I went with a very easy hosting service that will allow me to support up to, I think it's 10 million.
Okay. I mean,
So
there's a lot of cigar people, but we're still like a very small minority of the population. So if it gets to
exactly,
if it gets to 10 million, then that will be dope. But I mean,
exactly.
we may stay in the hundreds of thousands. You know what I mean? Like on there and
And that's
everything.
more than fine. I
Yeah, because
actually
we're
have a
still
new
a very small minority. So.
exactly. Well, you know what? But it's international.
Hmm.
So that might help a little bit too.
Yeah,
It would be
definitely.
interesting to connect with cigar smokers from across the world and to see what they're doing and, what's their favorite and,
Yeah, definitely. There's a whole lot, and then you'll kind of note like the differences of cultures and all that, because I follow some international people, and um it's just so different, like between the American cigar smoker and the European cigar smoker, and it's just real interesting. So
oh, it totally is. And I think that will be definitely an interesting part of it to see like how they smoke it. Do they smoke it with coffee all the time? Do they smoke it with tea? It will just be interesting to see. Or what are they smoking?
yeah, definitely. And so far, Stogie Lives has been around for what, 3 months now, 2 months, something like that.
A month and a half.
Month and a
And we're
half. It
growing
seems
quick.
it seems like, yeah, it seems like it was longer. I know when I first jumped on to help promote it and everything, I had a lot of people hit me up and like literally like they were like, when I saw your video or saw your post, they signed up and all that. So it's definitely been some pretty quick growth for just a short
Yeah,
amount of
we're
time.
growing quick right now. There are 1,200 and some users from all over, and we're growing really quick. So, and I think honestly, I have an app coming up, and then I have a new feature debuting this weekend, which I also think people will like.
Yeah, and let's talk about that, the new feature and all that.
Okay, so if you go on the website right now, oh, sorry, I keep losing these. So if you go on the website right now, you can see that there is a feature called Store. Now, it's not completely set up, and if you click it, you'll get the 404 error. But the idea behind the store, and no, I'm not opening a cigar store. I don't know enough about that. I don't even claim to. Is that it will enable small businesses and medium-sized businesses to sell in the form, while we can't legally sell cigars, think like a Groupon model.
Yeah. Okay.
So it will be a discounted cigar. So that way, if small businesses have, let's say, excess inventory of one thing, I'm sure there's regional trends in cigar smoking. Maybe one state or region smokes more fatter cigars or flavored cigars. So it will allow them to directly sell to consumers in the form of, like I said, a Groupon or a living social type deal.
Yeah, so basically it will connect to their already existing site.
Not necessarily. You don't have to have a site to do it. So that's one of the cool things about it, because, my background's tech, and while tech is great, it is hard. It's definitely not easy with SEO. So like when you're prohibited from advertising on certain platforms such as Google, Yahoo, Bing, Facebook, Instagram, it's a lot harder for cigar companies to compete online. And then if you add in the social restrictions, I know every state's different. Ours is still pretty boring, but I mean, it will help people sell their merchandise, but it's not going to have the same. So, like, if you sell on Amazon or if you sell on Etsy or even Groupon, I was looking at them a couple of days ago, and that's how I got this idea. So, I did find one cigar company that uses Groupon heavily. They always seem to have a deal, and I read into like the Groupon's policies. So let's say, I don't know, you're a cigar company and you want to do, I don't know, $1,500 worth of vouchers. Well, you're only going to make $750 off that because Groupon's taking half.
Definitely.
So I want it to be more of tailored to small businesses. Now, of course, there will be like a small percent for small businesses and medium-sized businesses. There will be different rates depending on how big your business is, obviously, because these large corporations have the money versus small businesses to medium-sized. Like I said, I'm a mom. They buy kids dance lessons and, support families. And
yeah, definitely. And so since you started it and everything, what kind of groups are there on Stogie Lives so far?
There are tons of cigar clubs, which I think is fun. I mean, because if you ever just stop and look, a lot of their coins and patches are so unique and so pretty, and like they just take the time to put the details into them, and it's really cool to see them. But like I said, again, you don't necessarily even need a group for that. I mean, so in some ways it is like Facebook that, you have to be friends with somebody to see what they're posting.
Yeah.
Before I had it open, but I did close that feature because I thought it would be better that way.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually heard a few people mention this, but it's not really a concern for me because I know your background, I know you personally. But what type of security features do you have for those? When it comes to internet security and all that, it's not like a big name, big brand social media site. But what type of security features do you have for the site for those who might have this concern?
Everything is data encrypted. Currently, I'm the only person who knows the password to even get on the site. It's 26 letters, completely randomized. In addition to that, we're currently not taking credit card payments in terms of, well, there have been a couple sponsors, until the store is open. Once the store opens, like I said, there will be a small seller's fee, but it's not going to be Groupon or Etsy or Amazon type. So there will be different ways, but in terms of processing credit cards, no. It's all being done through a third-party secure app such as PayPal or Venmo or.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
It's a little bit different. in that sense. We also don't store information per se, so you're definitely safe. The
All right.
servers are not located on site either, so
All right, cool. And so for any cigar brand or other cigar business, how can they reach out to you for purchasing ad space? You got plenty of advertising space on there.
we do.
You're about the
You
you're
can
about the
just,
little guy. So how can they reach
I
out to
am.
you?
It's just a matter of hitting contact us, and it's just that simple. And like I said, with the store coming and the different products, it's a great time to do that. It should be up by this Saturday, I'd say, and it will look similar to Groupon, like living social type concepts.
Okay, cool. And lastly, here before we get now, I need people to start commenting. There's some comments up there already. We're about to do a giveaway, so. But the last question here before we get to the giveaway: what do you have planned for Stogie Lives in the future?
I have an app coming in about 2-3 weeks. So that should be able to go on the Apple store and the Android store. If not, I'll have to build a back way, which isn't that big of a deal. It might delay it a week or two, but I think the apps, the stores, I intend to create enhanced business pages, which will allow businesses to directly promote themselves. So it will help, like, if you enter your zip code, or you can feature your business so you can find cigar lounges. And I think that's great, especially if people are traveling or going to different regions or just want the experience.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we're gonna give a little hint, okay? Because basically the way that this giveaway, um, oh, Cigar Man, he just said he signed up. He just went and signed up. So, but anyway, so
Awesome.
the way that this giveaway works, go ahead and show the ashtray and the sticker again. Um, I'm gonna give one hint, okay? Basically, and everybody's gonna have to guess what Val is smoking. The only hint that you will get is
This is
that
upside down.
it is an infused cigar. Okay, so you have think of infused cigars real quick here,
It's
and I
completely
need
unbranded.
yeah, it's unbanded, so you can't cheat. But think of all the infused cigars and go ahead and put it in the comments. Um, put in the comments and guess whatever infused cigar. If you're on my personal page, it may not show up, so jump over to YouTube because those comments always show up. Or all right, so we have one guess here, which he said acid, but we know that that's not it. So keep on listing out infused cigars real quick. If we don't have a whole lot of response, then we might do the giveaway a different way or whatever. But coffee, nope, not quite.
What?
Cigar Man, it's an infused cigar, but no, that's not it either. Keep guessing. We got a few more minutes here. If it extends, what I'll go ahead and do is you can keep guessing throughout the show because do have Boston Jimmie waiting in the green room here. Nope, it's not an Amendola. You think don't think brand, think the actual cigar. So keep it going. We'll let this go for like another minute here. Let's see here. See, I'm because the comments show up on here on StreamYard, so I don't see anybody who guessed it just yet. But yeah, Chris said he's not into the infused laws. You don't have to be into it. Most people know what the infused
Pretty popular.
is. Yeah, so it's not a Java. Not a Java. Nope, not that either. Not that either.
Oh, they're getting close.
Yeah, they're getting pretty close though. So, but we didn't mention anything about it.
Nope.
But yeah, let's see. We'll go for another short time to see if anybody guesses it here. So nothing else is coming up. But I mean, throughout the whole show, if you want to keep guessing, but there's people that have been joining Stogie Lives though since you've been on here, so that's good. That's at least
that's
3 people I've
awesome.
seen. So yeah, keep
That's
on guessing
awesome.
infused cigars. How about this? We could because I do got to get Boston Jimmie on. We can extend this because people will watch it after the fact and give them time. And so when I see across all the board, when people guess, then I'll contact you and get some addresses. So yeah,
let me know who
those
won.
yeah, because once this will keep going, so people have more time to guess. And once I see it, when people are watching backwards and all that. Let's see here. There's another guest there. Celestino. Nope, not a Cuba. Not a Cuban honey. I mean, these are some good guesses so far. So yeah, you can keep on guessing. And then I'll monitor the comments and everything, and I'll let
Think
Val
they'll get
know.
it?
No, nobody got it.
Do you think they will?
I don't know, but yeah, that's up for grabs. But Val, I want to thank you so much for coming on, and make sure everybody that's watching, make sure you head over to StogieLives.com. They are a proud sponsor of Herf Zone Live, and probably at least half the people that signed up is because of I've been promoting it.
I know, you're awesome. I love
along
you.
with other people. It was a small amount of people, and then I just saw the numbers grow, so it's just constantly growing.
We're
so
growing quick.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to thank you for coming on. And next up, we got Boston Jimmie. So I'm going to go ahead and take you out of here. And
bye, guys. Thanks. Oh, wait. Can I thank my sponsors real quick? Shirtless Mike, obviously, and New England Cigar Militia.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming on, and continue watching, and let me know if they guessed it or whatever. But I'll keep monitoring the comments. So
absolutely.
All right. See you later.
Care.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. So now this is the moment you all been waiting for. We got Mr. Boston Jimmie in the New England. I forgot to mention my sponsor, by the way, for the green room. Waiting patiently in the New England Cigar green room. We got Boston Jimmie, and I'm going to go ahead and bring him on whenever I can click it to bring him in. Okay, here he is. My computer's being slow today, so give it a second. What's up, Boston Jimmie?
Good, man. How you doing, Mr. Mike?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I see you rocking a Team Shirtless Mike shirt.
And a Tarazona Cigars hat. So big shout out to Tarazona Cigars.
Definitely. I'm about to smoke this here now that you're on the show. I'm gonna smoke this Boston Jimmie private stock. So I'm gonna light this up and
You see that unsolicited review I put out the other day?
Yeah, I saw that. Which was pretty awesome. Away. I commented on it. Yeah, I commented on that.
Those are the notes that a lot of people I speak to have gotten. So I'm honored and I'm humbled that somebody relatively big in the industry actually says, "Wow, this is a really fine cigar." So, but
definitely,
you can only get them by talking to me.
Yeah, so you got to talk to Boston Jimmie. So we're gonna get started. Yeah, we're gonna get started here. So this year, you switched. We'll start off with this year. You switched up your year-end list. You have a top small cigar company, medium cigar company, a large cigar company, and you had an overall cigar of the year. What was your reasoning for changing up your year-end cigar list? What has been the response to the changes that you made?
So for quite a number of years, like you said, we only did the boutique cigar list or small company cigar list. And I realized that a number of these small companies are no longer so small. A company like Southern Drawer is by no stretch the small company that it was when it first started. So I wanted to make sure I could always pay tribute to the people that have gotten me here. And I also realized that I probably should pay attention to some of the bigger guys too, because I talk about the cigars, but I never, and I'll rate their cigars, but I never actually had an award for them. So I made the decision to go into 3 different levels. So you have a small company, a medium size, and a large company. And I'm not getting into all the numbers because they could be all debatable, but we kind of know who the big guys are and we kind of know who the small guys are. And then the crossover is my judgment on what I thought they fit. And this way it was really nice because then what I can do is I could still give an award to the small companies like I've always done, but I can give an overall Stogie Press Cigar of the Year award to one of the top ones of those 3. So out of the 3 that made the top on their list, then I decided which one of those would be the #1 cigar of the year for Stogie Press. So that was all new. That was the reaction to it was I think I didn't get a lot of reaction, although I did get some I've watched some shows and I read some commentaries from, like, I know Half Wheel does every year when they do their end of the year analysis of cigar media and what we do. They talked a little bit about it. They thought it was a little confusing. Yeah, I get it. It's new. I was breaking ground here, and I think it was good. And I know that I saw some other shows where they kind of chuckled about a few things, but you know what? A list is a list, and it is what it is.
Yeah, definitely. And so 2020, we were hit with this pandemic, and due to your wife being high risk, immunocompromised, you did a lot of staying home. PCA was canceled, so you took your budget, you supported cigar shops all over the country, and you called it Keep the Lights On campaign. Approximately how many shops did you buy from over the course of the last year?
I bought thousands of dollars worth of cigars over the last year from shops, and I would say I probably spread that around maybe 10 to 15 shops, 15 shops, closer to 15.
Nice.
I'd have to actually calculate the number, but I spread it from everywhere, from Florida to the Carolinas to out west to Texas to even New York, and I actually paid some hefty price. And by the way, I don't know how the cigar business survives in New York State. Okay, because when I looked at the package I purchased from a shop in New York, and I didn't blink an eye at the number at first until I actually started looking at the stash and started doing the math, and I go, holy crap, that's a lot of money for those cigars.
Yeah.
And that's the situation you have in a high tax state like New York. It's penalizing to the businesses.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I definitely feel you on that because I've heard a lot of talk, about the prices in New York and everything, and just craziness, man. But hey, you kept the lights on, helped keep the lights on at a lot of shops, and that's awesome. You got to represent.
Got to do your little part. I mean, it's the best I could do. And what I could tell people too is even, you don't have to go online necessarily. You don't have to go to a CI or a JR to buy cigars. I just made phone calls. Okay. I literally just called up a shop, and these are shops that I have frequented in the past. Okay?
Yeah.
Shops that in my travels I would have been at. So I would call them up and I'd say, look, you got a moment? Can you walk in your humidor, turn your phone on, turn your video on, and let's walk through your humidor and let's see what you got. So I was shopping in their humidor with them. And then at the end, I said, I want 3 of these and 4 of those and some of those and some of those. And they packaged it up and they sent it to me. So you don't need to go online to do this. You just make a phone call, right? To the shop and help support them.
Yeah, definitely. And so now let's talk about the fundraiser for the people of Jalapa. I've been pushing it in the beginning of the show that you've gotten behind with the ACE Prime Foundation. How many others in the industry have gotten behind the initiative, and how long will this be going on?
I hope this goes on for a long time. I hope people get more involved. I feel we the initial awareness we hit a kind of a plateau, and I think part of it has to do with trust. And I always felt that if this is going to be done right, there has to be trust, total transparency, because people question every time you're going to do kind of a donation thing. It's like, where's the money going? Is the money going to be 10% for the check for the cause and 90% somebody's pocket? And I told Luciano from ACE Prime, I'm not going to get behind this unless there's 100% transparency and accountability, that anybody can see that donates, they can understand it. We have to be able to present that to them. So that was the first rule that I had.
Yeah.
And then we got, I know that Frontline Cigars, they picked up on it big. So they've been building, they've designed patches and coins that they're selling. And 100% of all the proceeds are going directly to that charity. So small company doing something big, which is awesome. I have tried to reach out to a few other big brands. They're willing to, once we get this campaign moving a little more, they're willing to throw in swag, throw in cigars, do raffles. We'll have all kinds of things that we can do to raise more. They'll do a lot of donation at that level. But right now we got to get to that level. And
yeah.
I fear that we need to get the awareness needs to press even further.
Yeah, definitely. And so what is the ultimate goal with the fundraiser, or what exactly is the money going to?
Good question. Can I share on this thing?
Yeah, the guests are able to share. It's at if you're on your computer, it will say share. You can share your screen.
Let me go.
I'll have to approve it, but you're able to do it.
Share screen 2 monitors. Okay. Go here. All right. So let me know when the screen shares. Yeah. Okay, so this whole thing started a few months ago, and when Luciano Morales from ACE Prime, Tabacalero Pichardo, put out a post on Facebook, basically showing this little child here, Elias Daniel. And Elias Daniel, he lives in Jalapa, and this little boy right here, just so everybody understand, his grandfather works in the farms in Jalapa. He can't always be home with him. The mother and the father abandoned him when he was a child, so the grandfather raises him. This little child right here is the size of an 8-year-old. He's an 8-year-old, like size of an 8-year-old, right? But he's 30 pounds, right? Very malnourished. The story he told me hit me right in the heart and the soul. And I said, what can we do to help you? We as the cigar industry. So we had a phone call and we talked about it, and we crafted a story, an article to put out. And that's what this article is. It's on Stogie Press. It's under the news. You can down through the news. You can find it. But basically what this is about is trying to help out the farming community, the tobacco farming community in Jalapa. And step one wants to go and raise $50,000, which will be used to build a daycare center, okay, with medical care, food, and such, so that parents and grandparents of children and oh, by the way, just so you understand the situation there, besides the 2 hurricanes that ravished that area, this is an area of indigenous Indians that have been there for thousands of years. Okay, these people are very tribal, all right, and because of that, there is a tribal community where they basically, you'll find cousins marrying cousins, and as a result of that, you end up with some birth defects. You get you get some very special needs children, young adults, and adults that need to be cared for. And their main source of income is really working in the fields, okay? And they don't get paid a lot. I mean, this is Nicaragua. Just put that in perspective. It's the poorest country. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to help them to be able to care for these people, provide them medicine, provide them health, provide them some educational aspects, so that they can go and do their job and their children and or some of these other special needs folks are taken care of. Now, we currently raised. Now, the last time I looked, I haven't looked in about a week, but the last time I looked, there was over $10,000, if I recall, in the donation. Now, I keep in touch with Luciano, and he most recently sent me some pictures that I put out of some of the progress that was going on. Focusing on this child, Elias, he just the other day, he sent me this picture. This is the same. Wow. Hold on, let me just play this little short video. This is the same child, okay, who is you wouldn't recognize it, but he's a much happier child. He's smiling for the first time. All right. He's been eating 3 meals a day, which the money that we've been providing has been helped to do that. He's been getting the medications he needs. Okay. So this is a direct result of all of the people that have been involved in this and are donating, are helping. This is just one example. And we focus on this child because it started with Elias and use it and showing him and what we're doing. The next step they're going to do is, excuse me, let me go back to this, is to go and build a daycare center. And part of building that daycare center, we will have photos and videos of it all going up and showing what's going to happen. ACE Prime has a foundation called the ACE Prime Foundation. And what they do is they're matching right now dollar for dollar on that for up to like the first $25,000 they're going to be throwing in. So anything anybody can do would be great. Now, to answer the second half of that question, how long is this going to last? I want to move it as far as we can. I want to continue this process. I don't think it's just Jalapa. I think we got to look at the rest of the cigar community, look at Honduras and other places that have similar issues and do what we can do and expand this. But it's going to take time. And I think anything new is going to have issues. As we grow through this, we're going to have a lot of questions we're going to have to answer. But once we get things rolling, it's going to get better and better. Personally, I would like to have, and I've talked about this in previous shows, I personally would like to try to have a telethon kind of thing where we bring in different cigar celebrities, bring in regular celebrities that cigar people know, and kind of help do a bigger fundraiser. But to do that, we're going to have a lot more awareness. We're going to have a deep level of trust. There are parts of the cigar community that look at this and go, well, what's really going on? I've had some, differences of opinions on what's going on. And we'll get into all the details here because I got to get all the facts for them and how everything's working. But that's where we are today. We're doing our best to help out. And a penny here, a dollar there. I mean, you go and you buy a latte at Starbucks for $6. Yeah. I have a shop over here in Melbourne, Florida. You know the shop in Merritt Island, right? Yeah. They have said that they're going to, instead of selling empty boxes like a lot of shops do, they said they'll sell those boxes and they sell them for every $2 or whatever they sell a box to somebody for, they're going to put it into it and donate. And that was one of the things I want to do. If every shop did that. If every shop in the country just did that, there'd be money being raised to go do this. Not to mention people just putting in money, putting in and donating, foregoing that one extra scotch that you have, that one extra beer, and just say, you know what? I'm going to buy a beer. Let me go to the site and donate that instead. That $5. That goes away. If everybody just thinks like that, we can help. These are the people that harvest and grow the leaf that you're smoking every day. Yeah. And a lot of the leaf we know, some of the finest is coming out of Jalapa, Nicaragua. If you're new to cigar smoking, you don't understand this, go on a map and go take a look at where Jalapa is, and you'll get a better appreciation. It's not Esteli. Esteli is not the same problem. Okay. Jalapa is a farming community, hands down.
Definitely. And for those out there that are watching, I've been pushing this. So in the show description on YouTube and Facebook, you'll be able to, you'll see the article where you can click on the article. There's also a link in the article where you can donate. And also I put like a direct link, but the article is there so you could kind of see how this all started. You could see some of the faces that people that were actually helping. And so I've definitely made the commitment to go ahead and help push that. And shoot, I got me another job. I start next week, and I got my taxes coming up. So I'm gonna make a good donation here real soon. In addition to me helping to push it, because you obviously got to lead by example, and it's gonna be awesome. So yeah. So and also in the comments here, Frontline Cigars, he was putting the prices for the stickers and patches and coins for the cause. If we'll show it. My computer's running slow. The internet's good, but the computer itself is running slow. But anyway, if you message Frontline Cigars on Instagram, he could get you the 411. And there's also a Facebook group called Relief for the Leaf. You can send me a message. I'll add you to that group. But a bunch of people in the cigar industry, not just us doing stuff, but I saw major media outlets also post about it as well. So there's definitely a lot. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of that trust is there. With the it's building up, but there's major companies getting behind it. Not just the small guys, but a lot of people are getting behind it. So
let me show to share one more time, Mike, if you can. I just show them the coin.
All right.
So this is the coin that the team from Frontline Cigars have put together. This coin is $20, and all the proceeds of this coin go there. The only thing that is coming out of that $20 is the production of the coin and the mailing of the coin. And they did everything they could to get the cost down, and they've already did pre-orders, so the coin should be coming in soon. They've been ordered, I understand. They'll be coming in, but this is going to be a beautiful coin. It's got the tobacco fields right here with the workers in it. It's got Relief for the Leaf 2021 on the back. It's got the heart with the Nicaraguan flag and Help Nica families. So these are the two major hashtags to use if you're going to post and do anything with it. And this coin should be absolutely beautiful when it comes in. So I know I pre-ordered one. I know a lot of people did. So anything you can do, great.
Yep, definitely. Let's see here. Take this off, and we'll move. Yeah, so we'll move on here. I got so much more to talk about here, but I wanted to get that done pretty early in the beginning. So I was looking on Stogie Press the other day when I was kind of researching, kind of getting stuff to talk about. So some of your recent reviews are, a lot of the cigars that you reviewed are in the 90s. You seem to be reviewing some good cigars recently. Do you have any favorite cigars that you reviewed recently?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have some that I really want to get to, I'll tell you that. But I think that one of my the more favorite ones that I got in the most recent ones, I would say there's a company called Echelon Cigars. Okay, Echelon Cigars is a veteran-owned cigar company. I reviewed their they have a series of them. There's an officer series, there's an enlisted series, and I think there's a retired or veteran series. I think there's 3 different lines. I reviewed the officer series. It's a Maduro. I think that one came in at a 94. So that cigar right there was really a spectacular cigar from a company that's small, sticking with the whole boutique line of cigars. Another one that really kind of stood out to me was and it took me a while to smoke this cigar because they came in, they were a little dry, so I just let them lay for a while, was the El Artista Buffalo 10, box pressed. I like that cigar. It's a flavor that started to develop. It wasn't right off the foot kind of flavor, but it really got into some nice complexity that I enjoyed it. The other one that I've always been a fan of, but they've just recently came out. It is a company called Epic Cigars. Okay. So Epic Cigars, they just came out with their 10th anniversary. And I smoked like 4 of those, and that 10th anniversary is just incredible. It really hit my spot, hit the sweet spot that I like. If I go up the chain a little, some of the bigger, slightly bigger brands, the new Southern Draw Manzanita.
Oh, I heard a lot of good stuff about that already.
Yeah, I have a few more of those, and I'm just hiding them in the humidor right now. I don't want to smoke them. I don't want one of those cigars I'm just going to hide. And it's like, nope. I went through my whole humidor over the weekend. I rearranged everything because I've got to get back into the seriousness of doing cigar reviews again. And things were all jumbled around, because things were coming at the end of the year. So I got everything organized, and I got the plan for the year now, what I'm going through. We'll see what happens. But that was a really an outstanding cigar. And then the other one was, which everybody's been talking a lot about too, which I really enjoyed, is the HVC Hot Cake.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, Erica Everett. She, that's one of her lines that she is a broker for now, HVC. So shouts out to her.
Good.
So the news just dropped kind of recently. I think it was like last week or something like that. But the TPE will be going on as scheduled. Are you planning on going to TPE this year?
If our governor can get me my vaccine in time, I'm going. There's no way I'm flying to Vegas without a vaccine. There's no way I'm walking around Vegas or a floor. Now the rules are very interesting at TPE this year, and so you have to wear a mask on the floor at all times. So you cannot smoke the cigar on the floor of the show, unless you're in the booth and you're socially distanced from the brand owner. So if you got a booth and I'm in there, we're gonna sit across from each other, and I could take my mask off and smoke a cigar. All right, that's the rule. There's another interesting rule that says no photography. Okay.
How are you supposed to be the media?
Well, I asked them that question. They're looking and they're double checking the media on that. But for the general population that would go in, they don't want to have any photography, which is like bizarre. But it is what it is.
Yeah, because hopefully that doesn't count for the media, because that's like part of what you do to generate content.
Of course. So I've reached out to them, and I'm hoping to get a response back this week. The clarification at least on that, so I can update the article and let people know. But, the TPE, definitely a focal point. I would love to get back to Vegas. I'm chomping at the bit to get there. If not TPE, then probably PCA, because by PCA, I should probably be vaccinated in time. TPE is closer to it. I'd have to be vaccinated by early April, to make it all happen.
All right, cool. Yeah, so that's what I was going to get into next, because you answered the next question. So the next question after that, has there been any news about PCA this year? I don't quite remember really seeing much news about them just yet. I've heard a lot of rumors.
They say it's going on. The last I heard, there's been no cancellation of it. So it's a wait and see, like all of them, right? Vegas is, not shutting anything down on this stuff. So I don't think it's a Vegas thing, right? So it's just a matter of how PCA runs. And PCA brought back, they brought back some of the people that were, pulling it together. So I'm sure they're going to they'll pull off a PCA. I think it's important for the industry. TPE is nice, all right, but TPE is not the cigar show, all right. TPE is cigar, vape, CBD, and other things, all right. It's tobacco plus. That's what the P stands for. PCA is premium cigars. That's how they rebranded themselves. It is the industry trade show, so we'll see how it happens.
Yeah, definitely. So how's taking it to the nub going? Do you have any interesting guests coming up that you can spill the beans on?
Well, I can always tell people what's coming up. The newest one coming up is going to be Alex Spencer from Monza Cigars.
Oh, nice.
Don't know Alex. I met Alex on one of the McAuliffe ambassador shows with William White. I think it was where I met him. I've been on a lot of shows lately, but so I got him going. I was supposed to have Rocky on last week, and that went a little south. But it was his birthday on Friday. It was his 60th birthday. For a guy that ran an epic 60th birthday party, I kind of get it. He was having family over on Saturday. We worked on the date. He said, okay, we could do it, but not at 7, but at 5. And then I guess he was out with his brothers. They had to do some stuff to get some stuff, and they lost track of time. And it is what it is. So they called me. They apologized. They're going to try to make it all up to me. So we're trying to get them on March 20th.
Okay.
And then March 13th, I'm trying to get Radamés Rodriguez from El Artista on. He should be able to lock in on that date. So those are the current up and coming. We have a few more that I just got to work out the dates with them. So I don't want to announce them all yet, but they're
definitely. Yeah, I was just trolling when you went live with the whole Rocky thing. I'm pretty sure he reached out and but I was just trolling. I wasn't really pissed off or whatever.
Yeah, you trolled all right.
I was like, what kind of shit is this?
It's a typical shirtless Mike troll. So yeah.
Hey, I mean, I talk to Ronnie too much from Secreto. He likes to troll.
Yeah, well, I kind of gave that up.
It's fun. It's fun, but I try to, I'm not like one of the I'll actually explain it later, so you don't think I'm just being a dick about it or whatever. But yeah, definitely, I'm looking forward to seeing that for sure. And shoot, you interviewed Big Time Tommy, man. That was like the big interview, really, the biggest one that you've done so far.
Believe it or not, the biggest viewed interview we had was Ladies of the Leaf episode. Okay.
Oh wow.
It's just there's a lot of horn dogs out there. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's the same with my shows. Any female cigar smoker that I've interviewed, like those are all in my top on YouTube. The YouTube categorizes it, and there's like 300 plus views on YouTube.
That one went crazy, but Big Time Tommy was an epic one. It was quite unique. His new cigar is getting launched, I think next week. He'll be down at Smoke Inn.
Yeah, Del Rey. Shouts out to Vinny over there.
So that's going to be a big thing. That's made with Lazuka and Asylum. So that's going to be a monster cigar, but all Nicaraguan Puro. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on a few of those.
Oh yeah. So and it's going to be a big green gauge too, because that's what he smokes. So that's it. So when I get my hands on something, like, what's up? This is Big Time Tommy.
No, he was great. He was a lot of fun. I appreciated that Steve from Frontline Cigars was able to come on that show and co-host with me. He did
a lot of fun
research. So we had a kind of a fun moment there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The smoking one was a good one too.
Yeah. Yeah, the smoking tent one, I was watching that, and it's cool seeing everybody with their tents. I knew most of them from the virtual chat, so it's cool to just talk about the tents. And that's the key with doing these shows. You have to have your own lane and just do stuff that nobody else does to separate yourself from the crowd.
Yeah, there's two parts to that. I would say that it's good to have some unique. You got to have some uniqueness and have some guests on that nobody else had on yet. But then there is also, and I think I'm going to credit Cigar Coop. I think mentioned this once is is what we call the book tour crowd. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are guests that will go from show to show to show because they got something to say.
Yeah.
Right. They got a new brand. They got a new blend coming out or something special that they just want to get in front of an audience and get in front of the audience over and over again, classic marketing. And that's fine, because we always have different questions. All right. And learn something, So the only thing I hope is that during taking it in a nub, my thing is to try to get a nugget of knowledge in that show, in that 1 hour where I learn something and the consumers that are watching learn something. And I think we hit that mark this year. When I go back and think about each one of the shows, there was something special. It was a question and everybody was like, wow, I didn't know that. It's like, and that's kind of what I want to do. I'm on an education track right now to continue to educate myself. And I want to turn that around and help educate the consumer. Smart consumers are smarter buyers.
Yeah, definitely. I've always heard it said that, the average cigar consumer, they know the big brands, but there's a growing fragment of the population that they're really getting super educated. They may not even be the biggest cigar nerd, but there's a lot of people that start off just casual and they're learning more. And I mean, it's always good to have that because that's good for the whole cigar culture period. So
I think that is common through generations, right? I mean, when I started, you could be my son. So when I started,
I am your son. What are you talking about?
40 plus years ago, I didn't know what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
I was smoking big brands, and most of it, that's all was there. And then some of these small companies, like my father, hit the market. It's like my father was a boutique brand, man. It was like, hello, who's this guy? And everybody started raving about it, right? So you had to go try, right? And the more you try, the more you'll train your palate, the more you'll appreciate your palate. You'll know what you like, what you don't like, and don't always just stick to a single brand. Ask an experienced tobacconist. Hopefully there's one at your shop that knows cigars and tobacco. Tell them what you like, and they should be able to fit your mouth to something that they have on the shelf if they don't have what you currently smoke and experience.
Absolutely. It's all about a growing experience, and it's a whole journey out here. So now what did you think about the Great Smoke digital experience? Did you watch the whole thing all day?
I watched every bit of it up until 6:50 at night because I had to do my show. So
yeah.
So I missed the very, very end. I wasn't able to get on the big Zoom at the end. But I heard that the big Zoom got a little wacky because a lot of people don't know how to go on Zooms. Everybody's talking over each other and shit. They, hit the mute button. But I thought it was outstanding. I think the amount of effort that Abe and his team put together to make this event be what it was is second to none. He was absolutely right. Nobody else did this.
Yeah.
I loved moments. Some of the moments in that show were obviously his daughter. His daughter was just unbelievable. And when she actually spoke, I was like, she's not 12 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a 20-year-old. No, she is very articulate, very, very smart, extremely talented. musician, playing a violin at 3 years old. I mean, my son played violin. He was not playing a violin at 3 years old. All right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I know when you start a violin, you're not bowing a violin, you're plucking strings initially. But just to have an instrument in front of a child like that is terrific parenting. He did a great job.
Yeah. That was my favorite part personally as well. Like when I was at the watch party and that came on, everybody like that was talking just stopped talking, and we were just glued watching it. We were like, and then everybody in the whole shop was clapping.
And I think Michael Herklotz was the perfect co-host for that show.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you got Abe, and Abe looked really good. Abe looked dapper himself, I have to admit. Abe was dressed to the hilt, but it's Abe, right? And then you've got Michael Herklotz,
that's what he does. He is dapper.
The ultimate in dapper, right? And having this conversation, and they would pick up with each other and help each other along the way. And when Michael decided to stand up and auction off that Fuente cigar, I was like, now that was amazing. That they were able to raise, $2,500, okay, by a cigar, and I didn't particularly like some of the comments I saw where some people were saying, oh, what a fool, it's like, wait a second. It's not about the cigar at that point. It's about the charity. It's about helping somebody.
Exactly.
So give people credit where credit's due. They raise good money, okay, by using that event. I thought the comedians were okay. I think the first one was definitely not as good as the second one.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the big that was one of the big issues. Like I even told Abe when I saw him at the store after the show, and I was like, I'm sorry, but next time you need some comedians, let me know. I'm connected with a lot of really good comedians, and I will get him some really good comedians because those they just weren't my cup of tea. But
well, the first one just seemed like he was lost with the audience.
Yeah,
which is the worst thing that can happen to a comedian. Right?
Yeah.
Get on stage and you get like nothing. I always said if I was ever a comedian, right, I would walk on stage, trip, fall, pick up my glasses, look through them and say, see, my mother warned me about this. And if they got the joke that, if you play with yourself, you go blind and all of this, but if they didn't get the joke, I'm probably dead the rest of the stand-up. Yeah. And that's kind of what I felt would happen with the first one. He just kind of didn't connect with the audience.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't his normal audience, so he struggled. The second one, he did well. He did much better.
Yeah, definitely.
Did you get any LEs? Did anybody that picked up any limited editions?
I didn't get any limited editions because I haven't been working for the last couple months, but I know Kevin from Cigar Prop. He was there. He got a couple of them. There was a lot of people I knew who got some, and then there was a lot, but it was crazy. Like the site crashed and all that. Like they have a really good server, but it's like when you got so many people jumping on it all at once, then no matter how good the server is, it's still, unless it's like an Amazon server for billions of people, then it's bound to happen.
They were jumping on it and they were hitting the refresh, and
yeah,
when you
start does it
refresh. And everybody starts hitting refresh, it pings the server again, and it just brings the server down. It can't read it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of people sitting around me that they got some. So I mean, and Steve Saka before he was went over to the broadcast, he was, how he is. He's like, oh, the average consumer is not looking for my cigars. They're looking for Rocky Patel, Fuente. And I was like, bro, do you understand that? Me and Kevin Shahan, we see the word on the street in the internet sector, and we see how many people are like, I'm telling you, you're going to sell out in just a couple of minutes. I'm telling you right now. And I should have made a bet with Steve Saka because afterwards he was like, I was so surprised. And then he, and he did the whole, and then he's going to make, he's doing pre-orders to make some more for those who didn't get, some, because there was a lot of people that really wanted them.
I applaud him for that. I think that was an admirable thing to do. And that's Steve. For those that know Steve Saka, that's Steve Saka. He really loves his consumers. He really appreciates every penny we spend on his cigars. He's been on. I saw him twice. They on the smoking social site. They had the post event where we kind of talked about the event and what we liked and what we didn't like, and what they could do. If they would.
I was in there. I showed up late, but I was in there.
And Saka was on that, and then he was on another one just the other day. It was on one, and he chimed in, and he's like, yeah, he wants to get these done, and he's not really making a lot of money on these, but he's going to do it for his consumers.
Yep. So. Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, every time I see him, he's all like doubting himself or whatever. He'll just be sitting there and that's just what he does. And I'm like, bro, like, do you understand? Like, you're gonna sell out, bro. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, but he came on that stage non-Steve Saka, though. I mean, that is but when he came on that stage and he went right into the dialogue, it was like, this is not the normal Steve. Normal Steve Saka is like, yeah, well, okay, yeah. He was like fired up, man.
He came on there swinging his dick right away.
I just thought that was great.
Yeah, definitely. So, other than the cigars that you reviewed, have you smoked any cigars lately that really wowed you? Just on personal smoking time.
I'm not gonna comment on those yet.
No comment. Don't know yet.
Only because the everything I've been smoking, technically, I've been reviewing. I just haven't posted them yet.
Oh, okay.
Because I've got a pretty big stash I'm trying to go through. Part of the purchasing for the pandemic was to go get cigars that I may normally have gotten at the PCA but I wasn't able to. So I was out there buying these things because I had to get them because I got to review them. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, definitely. And I understand that because, you're in the review game. So, you do smoke some stuff for pleasure, but, if you're behind on stuff, you definitely smoke a lot to review it.
Yeah, you just got to keep doing that.
Yeah, definitely. So last thing here before I'll let you go. So what do you have coming up with Stogie Press? Anything interesting?
Right now, everything is same for the year. My wife, who does all the the development work in the background, she's landed a couple of big contracts, and her time is is precious. So it's hard for me to tell her to go do something on the cuff, if you will. So she's not going to have a lot of time to do some work for me for a while. And that's okay. The site's running just fine the way it is. We had some ideas moving forward. We do have like a weekly newsletter we're putting out, but she got bogged down with that. We have to pick that back up. And we did a few adjustments to the site to make it a little bit easier to navigate, especially on the cigar reviews on the homepage now.
Yeah.
All the cigar reviews, the most recent ones, you can just scroll right through those and see them pop up.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much where we're at. We've tossed around the idea. We tossed around possibly. We've had some shirt designs and coin designs, to get on that bandwagon for a couple of years now. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. But I know she designed a couple of shirts a couple of years ago. Now we may want to launch. But it's just something that there's a bazillion things out there. So
yeah, definitely.
Right now, she goes out to my lounge and she looks in the humidor. She says, "You need to give more stuff away." So I keep giving stuff away, man. I mean, I gave you a bunch of stuff yesterday, and it's just
yeah, on Sunday, yeah. And I was definitely appreciative, and I smoked. What was it? Monday, I smoked. Yesterday, I smoked the Fuente Open Sex, and it was good. I smoked that like literally down to the nub. Like I pretty much nub all the cigars unless the cigar is like that bad or whatever, or if it's just dragging out too long and I got to go to sleep or whatever. But I pretty much nub everything because most of the time that's the best part anyway. So, but yeah, man, I appreciate you for coming on the show, man. It's the people definitely, you know, we're looking forward to that. And, you know, and I've had, you know, since, you know, we separate, I had to constantly, you know, explain we're still good friends. It's like my father in the cigar industry. So it was good to finally get you on my show, on my platform, and all that good stuff, man. And yeah, man.
I will give one more shout out when you talked about cigars earlier and what I like. So besides the fact that I just love this Boston Jimmie, and people are talking about it, which is, like I said, humbling. The company I work with, Providencia Cigars, based out of Texas, small little cigar company. They work with a factory in Honduras that produces some nice craft. This is it. This is one of them. And they have a really interesting line of cigars. You can check it out. You can get on their site. I know they sell them. They sell mostly the whole line at the Underground Cigar Lounge, which, by the way, is another thing that's coming up. The next event is next week.
NFG, no fucks given.
NFG is next week, so that's my next biggie that I can't go to.
Yeah, well, they're doing it virtually this year, aren't they?
Yes and no. It's not going to be an Abe thing.
Well, I know that, but like I'm sure they'll have some people at the shop, but like they're mostly for the out of towners are doing like a Zoom thing, or that's what from my understanding of what I saw posted. So
I told them that I would love to see them do the traditional roast that they do at the end with Mike Bellady hosting it. They should do that on Zoom. It would be an awesome thing for people who have not been able to go or stay through the whole event to be able to sit back and watch that roast, because it's one of the best cigar roasts you're going to see.
Definitely. Yeah. And like, I know, you know, you told Mike Bellady for your birthday bash, like to tone it down. Like me, I did tone it down, but I still was on the cuff there. I was like, you know what? Between me and Boston Jimmie, we bring money to executive. They're not gonna kick me out of this shit. Mike was like, bro. He was like, because when Mike heard my jokes, he was like, bro, like, he was like I would have done like so much better. Like literally, like at your birthday bash, I had the funniest set. But yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and get off of here. We can chop it up after the show. Everybody that tuned in tonight. I got a screenshot that, because I don't get all the comments sometimes on StreamYard from like Facebook for some reason. I get all the YouTube comments, but I have a screenshot of the winner for the giveaway. So I'll go ahead and announce that once I verify, double check just to make sure, I have a few links out there. But if you're not subscribed on YouTube yet, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to be doing a 300 subscriber giveaway on the 16th when I do my show live at Smoke Rings. I'm actually going to do the show live from there. Hopefully I have to do the internet test though, because I want to make sure it's quality, and it doesn't, go blurry when it's full screen. But yeah, so we're going to do that giveaway there. And thanks everybody for tuning in. You guys have a great night. So sorry for the technical difficulties in the beginning, but the show turned out awesome. Peace out, y'all.
Great job, Mike.